Hi, my name is Harish Walavalkar. I am the author of the book How to Talk Like a CEO. And in today's episode, I'm sharing with you how you can communicate with your top management. I'll explain the why, the how, and the what. Why is communicating at top managerial levels a different ball game? How can you keep your top management interested, engaged, and what exactly should be the content of your communication? We're going to address these three things. So, first, the why. I'm making a statement here. Communication skills required at the top managerial levels is 180 degrees opposite to the skills you need at the junior and mid levels. This is because communication at the top is a different ball game because the world is different. You see, the top management has a lot more responsibilities, a lot more pressures. The stress is higher. The number of stakeholders they engage with is higher. The expectations is higher. Time is much less. And hence, the attention span is very less. So communication skills at the top has to be different. If you are giving them meandering or ponderous communication, it's very likely that they are going to get impatient. So how exactly can you keep the top management involved, engaged, hooked to your communication? Well, here I'm going to share with you a structure on what you should be really doing. So if you look at this triangle, most of the world start communicating from the base of the triangle. They give a lot of data, they set the context, a lot of background information, and before you finish, the top management interrupts you and says, come to the point. So you see, this is the point. So what you should be really doing with the top management is 180 degrees opposite of what you would with the junior and mid levels. With the top management, you don't have to set the context. So what you do is jump straight to the point, start from the top, make your big point, and then give them three supporting sub-points on why you're making that big point. And wait, once you've made the three supporting points, you don't start explaining point 1, 2, 3. You seek permission, you ask a question, you ask the top management, which of these 3 points would you like me to elaborate? It is very likely that the top management will say, forget 1 and 2, jump to 3. So be it. Now, two very interesting things are happening here when your top management says, jump to point number 3. Did you get it? The first interesting thing is, your top management gave you a permission to proceed. So now you have the permission to talk about point number 3. But the second more important thing is, you just came to know what is the interest of your top management, and that's valuable data. So once you come to know what is the interest of your top management and you have the permission, now you can make another set of 2 or 3 supporting points or a little bit more detail for the point number 3. Remember to seek permission at every stage. So the how is to give them bit-sized piece of information, pause, seek permission, then proceed. And that's how you communicate at the top managerial levels. But what exactly should be the content of your communication? And here I hope you understand the difference between a goal, a strategy, and an action plan. A goal is typically at 30,000 feet, the big picture. A strategy is a little bit lower, say 15,000 feet, a little bit more inside. These are stepping stones on how you can reach the goal. But the action plan is action on the ground. Okay, so that's the difference between a goal, strategy, and an action plan. So let me ask you, what according to you is of most interest to your top management? No, it's not the goal because they are very clear about the goal. And no, it's not the action plans. They are not interested in the details. They are interested in discussing just the strategy. So when you're discussing strategy with them, you've got them interested. The moment you start meandering towards an action plan or a tactic, you lose their attention. So that's how you keep them interested. Remember, you got to talk about the strategy, not the goal or the action plan. Number 2, when you're talking about strategy, please make sure it is aligned to the goal. And how can you make sure it is aligned to the goal? Because the outcome of the strategy should be the meeting of the goal. If the outcome of the strategy you're proposing is something else, then there is misalignment. Do check this before you present it to your top management. And the most important thing, the biggest irritant to your top management is an incomplete strategy. You should make sure that when you do those 4 or 5 things that you're proposing, the goal is getting met 100%, nothing short of it. So the big learning therefore is discuss strategy, align to the goal, it is complete, there are no gaps, give them bit-sized information, seek permission at every stage, and start with the big point. Okay, now let's take an example. Let's say the goal or the aspiration or the mission of the top management is to become a global brand, a global leader. Fine. So you know the goal, you know the aspiration. Now here's an example of a strategy, and let's process if it is something that the top management is going to get interested in or not. First, presenting in a global conference. I like it. No problem there. 2. Writing a book. I agree, it's a good idea. When you write a book, when you launch it globally, it can help your brand become global. Wonderful idea, no question about it. 3. Launching the book in an annual consumer conference. I have an issue there. Inviting the press. Wonderful idea, but I have an issue there as well. And marketing the book on social media. Fantastic, but I have an issue there as well. So what's my issue? Presenting in a global conference is strategic. It is a strategy. Writing a book is strategic. It is a strategy. But launching in an annual consumer conference, inviting the press, and marketing on social media is an action plan. So when you start meandering towards an action plan, you're likely to get your top management to become impatient. So focus on the strategy, number 1. Number 2, if you're presenting this to strategy, is it enough to make your company a global brand? If it is not enough, where's the gap? And if there's a gap, then you should be filling up the gap first. I hope this example helped you understand how you can communicate with your top management.